So we all know grooves are really important on a golf club. They help create spin, they help get the golf ball up into the air, and when we're chipping around the green, they give us control. But we know after the bit, they start to get worn down. So this got me thinking. I headed into my garage and I dug out my very first, what I kind of call, specialist wedge. So this is the first wedge that I bought that wasn't part of a set. So it's nearly 10 years old. So we headed on to the internet and I have dug out what I think is the meanest looking groove sharpener known to any golfer. Let's sharpen these grooves and we're going to compare it and see if I can get it back to nearly new. Let's go. First things first though, I need to go and test what this wedge is like in general before sharpening it. We're then going to go and sharpen it and put it to the test again and see what these grooves are like. Testing done. Now it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was. Yes, okay, a few of them ran out a lot longer, but then I soon adjusted to it. Right, let's head to the locker room, open up this box and start sharpening some grooves. First things first, let's have a look at this tool. Now, first opinion, well, good job it comes in a box because these things are seriously sharp. Now, I just thought that it would be a lot bigger to get a bit more purchase on it to be able to sharpen these grooves. It'll be interesting to see what we can actually do with this. But remember, we're trying to turn this nearly 10-year-old wedge back into something like a brand new one. I honestly don't know what this is going to be like. I appreciate we're probably going to make this wedge illegal. It's going to be more like the box grooves that we used to use. I remember using them. Who remembers using them actually? Because they were ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I think we've sort of like forgotten what they were like. But anyway, without further ado, let's put this tool to the test. The sharpening is done. Now I have to say, it is not the easiest thing to do, and you sort of, well, get a bit of cramp in my hands I was. You have to put quite a lot of pressure into this to actually see the grooves sort of work. I guess you could go for softer and sort of keep repeating it, but I felt like if I was putting more purchase in, well, in hindsight, it should get a little bit sharper. Now, I've just done this wedge, and what I thought was best to do is leave the top few grooves because, well, if I strike up there anyway, it ain't gonna do much spinning, is it? So I've gone for sort of the top 3/4 or the bottom 3/4 of the club and really gone to town on it. And my groove sharpener is looking a little bit on the worn side. I reckon I could use it for possibly another club just, but overall it's looking quite well used considering how sharp these nibs looked at the start to what they look like now. Not ideal if you want to use it on every single wedge. So the grooves are sharp, they visually feel a little bit rougher, they actually look a lot sharper and shinier, especially around that middle worn area. It's going to be so interesting to take this on the golf course and actually get a feeling for what this actually plays like, because you've got to think of it this way: buying a new wedge or sharpening, I know these things cost you money, but they're considerably less than buying a new golf club. So, well, let's see. So come on, come with me. We're just heading back out onto the golf course. And I have to say, with that groove sharpener, I have gone to absolute town on it. I put some real elbow grease into making sure that those grooves are so sharp. So it also got me thinking, and another reason why I think this video is quite important really. We all have that wedge, don't we? That old faithful that we always like to hit a chip over a bunker with because we know what it does. So can sharpening these grooves make it perform any better? Now, I think this is really important. We're doing all this based on feel because when we're out on the golf course, that feel, that trust is what we based our performance on. That's what we base on what we can do with our wedges. Let's put them to the test. Okay, so let's just have a look at these grooves. So this is my current wedge, my Cobra Snake Bite 50 degree, and this is my 10-year-old Callaway wedge. So just have a look at this here. Look at these. They actually feel like grooves. Like if I do a bit of a touch test between them both, so between my new and what grooves feel new, they actually don't feel too far apart. But let's hit a few shots with my 10-year-old wedge and let's see how it performs. I've now hit some chip and runs, a couple of pitch shots, a few bunker shots, and a little bit of a lob shot. Overall, I have to say, I'm actually surprised how much this is actually spinning. Comparing this to what it was like when I first tried this before sharpening the grooves, it's definitely an improvement. I'm definitely seeing more spin. I'm able to fly it a little bit closer to the flag, and actually, my confidence in knowing that ball's going to stop has actually gone up. Right, I just want to hit now a few with my current wedge just to give it a little bit of a comparison, and then we'll give you my overall verdict. Let's talk. Have I managed to turn my 10-year-old wedge, which you can see here, look at these grooves, is almost looking and feeling like my brand new one. Now, if I'm perfectly honest with you, I thought this tool was a little bit of a gimmick. I thought, no way can this be any good, no way can you use this, no way can it restore a golf club, but I have to say, I am surprised. So I'm just judging this test off feel, because I think for most of us, around the green is where we want to have that little bit of spin control, that ability to stop the ball on that chip and run, on that bunker shot, on that lob shot, on that pitch shot. And definitely I have to say this, I saw a vast improvement between when I first tested this wedge with the 10-year-old grooves looking like 10-year-old grooves compared to when I just tested this with them super sharp. And if I'm perfectly honest, I don't think I can tell much difference between the old and the new now it's sharpened. Now, this is the big question. Is it legal? Would anybody know it's legal? I have no idea. But when's the last time someone actually came and checked on your grooves? So could it be the answer? Could you go out and actually test this? Could you go out and actually restore your golf clubs and just sharpen up the grooves? Because it's nice, isn't it? Chipping. We all have that old wedge that we just can't take out our game because we love it so much. You could just sharpen the groove, surely, so you can keep the old favourite in your bag.